Dormammu, the Dark Dimension. Dormammu is less of a creature and more of a living dimension. When Doctor Strange confronts him, we only see a massive, flaming face filling the skies of the Dark Dimension. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Dormammu is the Dark Dimension, infinite, borderless, and ever-shifting. His scale is practically beyond measurement, since he doesn't exist within our normal space or time. Some depictions suggest he's larger than celestials, larger than planets, maybe even larger than the multiverse itself. That's how big we're talking. Dormammu doesn't just sit quietly in his realm either. His entire existence is about expansion, consuming other dimensions and folding them into his own. It's like if a black hole had a personality and a god complex. Strange's famous Dormammu, I've come to bargain scene.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
You've come to die.
Only showed us his face, but the terrifying reality is that Dormammu could stretch on forever. No hero, no army, no planet could stand against him in terms of sheer size. The Celestials, gods of creation. Celestials are godlike architects of the Marvel Universe. These towering beings are responsible for seeding life across galaxies and deciding which civilizations live or die. And they are absolutely colossal. We're talking thousands of miles tall. In Eternals, when Arishem appears in Earth's sky, he dwarfs the planet itself, his head stretching across the clouds like a second moon. Tiamut, an unfinished celestial, proves the scale even further. His emerging hand is the size of a continent, his head larger than mountain ranges. Isan the Searcher, glimpsed in Guardians of the Galaxy, casually wields the Power Stone to obliterate planets.
Carriers can use this stone to mow down entire civilizations like wheat in a field.
What makes the Celestials so terrifying isn't just their size, but their authority. They aren't villains in the traditional sense. They're more like cosmic judges. To them, entire worlds are ants underfoot. And when one of these giants appears, there's no hiding, no fighting, no negotiating. There's only submission. Ego, the living planet. Most Celestials walk among the stars, but Ego took things to another level. Instead of a body, he became an entire planet. Covered in forests, oceans, and mountains, Ego looks like any other celestial body from space, until you realize it's alive. His true form is the planet itself, with a core brain powering everything. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ego reveals that his human avatar is nothing but a puppet. His real form is Earth-sized, placing him on par with other Celestials. But what makes him unique is his ambition. He doesn't just exist as a giant, he wants to spread across the galaxy, planting seeds that would eventually consume entire worlds. Fighting Ego is like fighting the ground you're standing on. The Guardians had to blow up his core just to stop him, because how do you kill a planet that's alive? He's proof that in Marvel, sometimes the world itself can be the enemy. Surtur. Surtur is a fire giant destined to bring about Ragnarok, and when he's restored by the eternal flame in Thor Ragnarok, he reaches a scale beyond anything Asgard has ever seen. Towering over mountains, Surtur's massive crown and flaming sword make him look like a living volcano in humanoid form. His weapon is so large it can split apart the entire realm of Asgard with a single swing. What's interesting about Surtur is that his true power isn't measured in feet or miles, it's measured in destruction. At full size, he isn't just a giant warrior, he's a walking apocalypse. His very presence radiates firestorms, and his clash with Hela shows just how unstoppable he is once he reaches his destined form. As far as realm-sized threats go, Surtur isn't subtle. He exists for one purpose, to obliterate Asgard, and in the end, he fulfills that prophecy. Alioth. This is a different kind of giant. First seen in Loki, this entity isn't a towering humanoid or planet. It's a storm, a rolling mass of temporal energy that devours everything in its path. Its size is inconsistent because it stretches across the skies like a living hurricane, engulfing entire landscapes at once. Cities vanish inside it in moments. What makes him terrifying is that it doesn't just destroy matter, it erases timelines. Anything caught inside its storm isn't just dead, it's gone from reality altogether. That makes him one of the most abstract threats in Marvel, existing outside of physical size alone. It's less like a creature and more like a natural disaster given consciousness. Watching it swirl and roar in Loki feels like staring into an endless cosmic thunderhead that wants nothing more than to swallow time itself. Dweller in Darkness. Moving down to city-sized monsters, the Dweller in Darkness is a kaiju-like creature from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. When it finally breaks free, its wings stretch wide across the battlefield, and its massive body dwarfs even the tallest buildings. This dragon-bat hybrid is a predator in every sense, feeding on the souls of its victims to grow stronger. What makes the Dweller especially frightening is its method of attack. It doesn't just kill, it consumes life force directly, leaving nothing behind but empty husks. In combat, it can plow through armies with its sheer bulk, using its claws and wings to scatter defenders like toys. Its presence also warps the environment around it, summoning hordes of smaller soul-sucking minions. The Dweller in Darkness isn't just a beast to fight, it's an entire plague wrapped into one monstrous body. The Great Protector. The Great Protector from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is a massive serpentine dragon revered as a guardian spirit. Unlike the Dweller in Darkness, it isn't a predator. It's a protector of humanity. Its body stretches across entire lakes, coiling gracefully through water and air with a presence that commands awe. While its size is staggering, long enough to wrap around mountains, what truly sets the Great Protector apart is its elegance. Its slender form allows it to move with fluid, almost celestial grace, a sharp contrast to the brutality of most other kaiju-sized beings. In the climactic battle, the Great Protector's scales and movements shine like liquid silver, emphasizing its role as both savior and natural force. It's not just a dragon, it's a living embodiment of balance, reminding us that not every giant in Marvel exists to destroy. Gargantos. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Gargantos bursts onto the scene as a Lovecraftian nightmare. This one-eyed, tentacled sea monster is large enough to crush buildings, hurl buses, and tear through city blocks like paper. Its design echoes classic kaiju and horror monsters, with dozens of writhing appendages that make it nearly impossible to predict where the next attack will come from. Its true strength lies in its chaos. When Gargantos attacks New York, it doesn't just bring destruction, it spreads panic. Each tentacle can level entire streets on its own, and its single massive eye gives it an eerie, unsettling presence. While it doesn't reach the godlike scale of Celestials, Gargantos stands as a reminder that sometimes the scariest threats are the ones that feel closest to home. Frost Giants and Jotnar Beasts. The Frost Giants, first seen in Thor, come from Jotunheim, a realm of eternal ice. Towering over Asgardians, these blue-skinned giants represent one of the oldest rivalries in Marvel's mythos. While not kaiju-sized, their sheer physical power makes them formidable. They can smash through fortresses, wield weapons the size of tree trunks, and command beasts like the Frost Beast, which itself can grow as large as small buildings. Individually, frost giants can range from 15 to 30 feet tall, but their true danger lies in numbers. An army of frost giants sweeping across a battlefield is like an avalanche of living ice. Compared to Celestials or Dormammu, their scale may seem small, but to mortals, and even to Asgardians, they are mountains of muscle and ice, representing the primal fear of nature's wrath. Kro, the evolved deviant. Kro, the villain of Eternals, begins as just another monstrous deviant. But as he evolves, absorbing energy from Eternals, he grows into a towering beast. By his final form, Kro reaches several stories in height, his body twisting with tendrils and glowing lines of energy that pulse like veins. Unlike mindless kaiju, Kro possesses intelligence. He taunts his enemies, fights with strategy, and adapts during battle. This combination of size, power, and cunning makes him far more dangerous than your average monster. Still, compared to the Celestials or even the Dweller in Darkness, Kro remains small. His significance comes less from his scale and more from what he represents. The Deviant's potential to evolve into something truly terrifying. Ant-Man/Giant Man. Not all Marvel giants are villains. When Scott Lang uses Pym particles, he can transform into Giant Man, reaching heights of 60 to nearly 100 feet. In Civil War and Endgame, we see him tower over battlefields, swatting enemies, and even using trucks as weapons. What makes Giant Man fascinating is the relatability. Unlike Celestials or Dormammu, Scott is still human. He just happens to be skyscraper-sized. That scale shift gives his battles a unique perspective, where everyday objects suddenly become tools or hazards. In Quantumania, he reaches his largest recorded height yet. close to 100 feet tall, which puts him firmly above kaiju like Gargantos in terms of sheer size. But at the end of the day, Giant Man is still just a guy in a suit, making him the smallest of Marvel's true giants. Hulk and Abomination, the smallest giants. Finally, we reach the bottom of our list, the smallest of Marvel's giants. Hulk and Abomination may only stand 8 to 11 feet tall, but compared to ordinary humans, they're living mountains of muscle. Hulk's raw strength allows him to rip through tanks, smash entire buildings, and even hold his own against gods. Abomination, with his monstrous frame and bone protrusions, takes that destructive power even further. Their scale may not rival Celestials, but in terms of presence, Hulk and Abomination loom as some of the most iconic giants in Marvel history. They embody the primal idea of what it means to be larger than life, showing that sometimes size isn't everything, it's how you use it. And that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe.